Hi, everyone. I'm Shaheen from the Content Mix, and I'm excited to be here with Gabriela Orellana, who is Senior Marketing and Communications Manager at fonYou, a fintech and telecom company based out of Barcelona. Thanks so much for joining us, Gabriela.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you. So could you just start out by introducing yourself and telling us a bit more about your experience?
Sure. Well, I'm actually from El Salvador, living in Barcelona. I came to study a master in international management, and I've been working in telecommunications and fintech for almost 7 years. During my master, I was working in Ding, an Irish telecom company, managing the business development and marketing side for Latin America and the Caribbean region. There, I was in charge of the main key accounts and also leading with our marketing team the activities for the diaspora internationally. Then, after a while, I felt that I needed a new challenge, to continue to grow and develop my career. That's when I saw the opportunity in fonYou, my actual company, that it's a fintech and telecom that helps carriers and enterprises also to fully automate their services using fintech, marketing technologies, and AI. And then I joined first in fonYou. I joined firstly as a BDM of EMEA, where I had a mix between marketing and sales for 2 years. And then the past year, I had a great opportunity. And I transitioned to senior marketing and communications globally. So here, I'm purely focused on working on the brand itself. All the content is related to internal and external communication, including PR.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So your background, it sounds like, was in business development. You've transitioned into marketing. So how did you make that transition? Why did you decide to move that way?
Yeah, well, I have always been very passionate about the marketing world. And I knew from a very young age that I wanted to study that. My dad has been always an inspiration, and he has been working in a multinational for almost 30 years. So growing up, I was always fascinated by his experiences about products, the importance of communication, marketing, and sales. And then when the time came to decide my major, I never hesitated that it will be marketing. But regarding the industry, I have always wanted to work and envision myself in FMCG companies, and I was like sure that that's where I was going to end up. But suddenly I had the amazing opportunity to discover another industry, fintech and communications. And literally my whole vision changed. I found myself hooked in technology marketing. And I just remember literally years ago when I started, I was sitting every day to one of the technical guys, and he was explaining me how integrations work, the APIs, the backend, to someone who had zero knowledge of that. And I mean, it wasn't something that I really needed for my role. But at the end, I was like, okay, I need to learn as much as possible to know how the business works, not only in the commercial side, but also in a technical side. So during all these years working in telecommunications and technology, I've learned a lot. And I don't know, it's just really fascinating and so much to do and a very interesting world to discover. So I'm very happy in this industry.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. I was curious, a little bit about more about your story, because a lot of our audience are like international people working in Europe or who would like to work in Europe. So I was just curious how easy it was for you to break into the job market in Spain.
Well, as I came to do my master, and my previous company had here offices, but at the end, I was sure that I wanted to stay in Europe. It was like when I came here, I was like, I'm not returning to El Salvador. It's one-way ticket, and I literally immersed myself in. I want to continue in technology. I want to embrace myself there and to grow like a career. So it was kind of difficult. Obviously, you're international, and and all the the applications and the paperwork and everything. But suddenly, what it's meant for you, it's meant for you. And obviously, it was a lot of investments, applications, time consuming. But I was decided that I wanted to stay here in Europe. So I think that when you visualize something and you go for it and you focus on what you want, at the end, your mindset, everything help you to achieve that goal. So
absolutely, yeah, that's really cool. And basically, so you came to study and then looked for jobs while you were studying, and then kind of made it happen. Awesome. That seems like a good approach, a good way to make it happen. So I wanted to ask you a bit more about the content marketing work that you're doing at fonYou. So just when it comes to, well, maybe you could just start out by sharing an example so we can kind of get an idea of the kind of content that you typically do. So just an example of a campaign or a piece of content that worked really well.
Yeah, we recently launched a white paper where we describe an outstanding use case with a mobile operator in Latin America. There, we demonstrate the KPIs like high conversion rates and valuable information that resembles our solution in today's industry. Actually, this piece of content worked really, really well because it drove not only thought leadership articles, we also use it for speaking opportunities. We use it in LinkedIn campaigns, and also it secured an online video debate that we had the past month with another company in the same industry. So I think that especially for us, that kind of content helped a lot to all those brand awareness, leads, speaking opportunities. So yeah, I think that it was a good piece of content.
Yeah, cool. So you're kind of, could you tell us who's your target audience? Who are you creating content for?
Yeah, our target, it's mainly mobile operators and financial institutions. So our reach involves an active trade and specialist media, a community of industry analysts, and many events. And as you know, the last year we have seen all those physical events move online. So that has made the content more important because everything is online, and we are doing a lot of campaigns, LinkedIn, Twitter, and as well, we are participating a lot in online events. So at the time of doing all those activities, we need to know and we need to be sure what we are promoting or writing or sharing to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think is important to keep in mind when it comes to content marketing in your industry specifically?
Yeah, I think that it's really important to be able to write correctly for your audience. Get the right balance. So you're not so that you are explaining the market issue and technology solution to a mixed audience of marketing, technologists, and senior executives. So I think it's always a balance that you need to do and write well, know what you're writing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And what about when it comes to tone of voice? What's your approach?
I think for us, it's best described as engaging. As is a technological company, we really want to make serious points, but we don't want to write so serious, or give in too technical material. We want material that people can almost enjoy reading. It's easy to read, consumer friendly. And this means no barriers to comprehension, but delivering a clear message and concisely, that at the end, it's something that you want people to be reading and to share and everything. So writing something engaging and not so serious, it's good, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so making it kind of accessible, but at the same time, educational, right? It sounds like the content you're giving is very practical and educational. In the case of the white paper, for example, is that something that was for are you creating different types of content for different stage of the funnel? So which stage would that be because that was based on case studies, you said?
Yeah, it was a case study, so it's mostly for lead generation.
Okay, cool. So what do you think that some companies get wrong when it comes to content marketing?
I believe the two main fault is that they are being too heavy-handed. I mean, very pushy with the sales message, overly promotional. Sometimes, I don't know, when you are like just talking about your product, then it's like, okay, I understand you want me to buy your product, And on the other side, I think it's getting too deep into the technical solution, especially if you do that right at the start. I think it's too harsh, like pushing the people to to understand the technical side or to buy your product. I think that, for example, well-written content cover the issues that challenge the audience. I think it demonstrates understanding before talking too much in detail about what the company has to offer or about the product. So I think it's really important to be like that, not too heavy, too harsh, because at the end you don't know who can be writing who could be reading your article. And if you're being too pushy to like fails, at the end I mean, maybe you can push them away, or and at the end it's not beneficial for your company.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're saying, basically to uh, present solutions to their problems, right? Like through
I think
content.
it's a balance.
Yeah.
Because obviously at some point you want to share about your product, and it's completely fine. But when you're focused only on trying to sell your product, you are not giving much more space to your opinion, to the situation, to, I don't know, to giving insights or that kind of content.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. So I was curious to know your favorite content or social media channel.
I would say that Twitter and LinkedIn, for sure. Like LinkedIn for sure. It's like complete distribution channel, and from brand awareness, relationship building to generating high quality of leads. I think it's a fantastic tool that helps also share insights from professionals that are seeking what they want to see, and obviously like new content. And the good thing is in LinkedIn, um, people that are reading spread and share the content. So sometimes, if, as I said, that if they like what they read, it's not necessarily that you have to pay for that, because people naturally are sharing or liking or posting. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
something very useful, and it's something that occurs very naturally. So
But are these your personal favorite, or that you think are best for the business? And is the business like, how is it using these tools?
no, okay. Personally, for me, for example, it's in my life, LinkedIn and Instagram. I love Instagram. You get a lot of information. I love to travel, pictures, going to restaurants. So I love Instagram, but and LinkedIn too. I get a lot of insights or thought leaderships or opinions from a lot of leadership leader leaders from the industry. So yeah, but professionally, from my business side, for us is Twitter and LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, well, switching gears a little bit, like what advice would you give to someone just starting out now in marketing?
I think that marketing, as you know, is ever changing. So the hunger to learn emerging trends should always be there. Ask questions, whenever you don't understand the concept, ask. I mean, by staying curious is how you will stay competitive, and make mistakes. Don't worry about it. You will learn a lot, and at the end, it's okay to make mistakes. And yeah, for me, it's that. It's simple, but
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
don't worry at the end. It's an ongoing process of learning. So
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Um, well, going into like some of your recommendations, I mean, what's your favorite software tool or app right now? especially when it comes to marketing.
As I said before, LinkedIn, you can create a lot of excellent campaigns and share content that is valuable for the audience. And also HubSpot, their CRM platform makes everything very easy to proceed. And personally, I would say Instagram, as I said before, and Spotify. I love music. I use Spotify every day, like from starting to going to sleep. And I'm always listening, if it's not music, a podcast or a TED Talk. I just write like marketing and like randomly, start searching for something and listening.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Cool. Well, then I wanted to ask you about like if you have any like productivity tips or hacks.
Well, I've been applying some of the learnings of some books I read. I don't know if you have heard about the 5 a.m. Club and Leader Without Title. Both are from Robin Sharma. I am a true advocate of his teachings. So for me, he's a truly inspiring author and activist. I don't know, it's spectacular how he describes the leadership and how to elevate your life by owning each day the best way possible, So he describes there how a strong morning routine can help you perform at our best and reach new levels of productivity. So, for example, as you know, I'm in Barcelona. Since last year, I started waking up at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. is very early in Spain.
Yeah, I know.
Most of us start work at 9 here.
I know. But the good thing is that, for example, I started like waking up at 5 a.m. I was going to watch the sunrise at the beach. And, it's something spectacular. It's beautiful and really peaceful. And obviously, that helped me start my day really productive because I start really early. And then, I'm not saying that you have to go and do the same, but waking up early and occupy those early hours to focus. So, you can imagine how much you can do. Because, if you say, okay, we start at 9, but you have that gap between 5 and 9 that you can be doing, I don't know, meditating, putting your list of things, like there's a gap of time that...
Yeah, just time for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also like organize yourself, but it helps you like during the day because you have that productivity. So, you get energetic from that. And I can tell you, it's difficult at the beginning if you're not an early riser, but in the end, it's all worth it. So I think it's really good. And also, I don't know if you have heard about the 5-minute journal that a lot of influencers were recommended lately. So I decided to try it out. And it's been 1 month since I started using. And it's literally part of my daily routine now. I just love having this focus at the beginning and at the end of the day. And just being grateful for the big and small things of my life. And I'm really noticing like a shift in my mindset and in my productivity because you start putting like, what did you do today? What are you grateful for? What will be good to do today? Affirmations. And at the end, what could be better? So I think the mix between waking up early and have that journal helps you not only in a personal level, but also professional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are great tips. And well, next, I just wanted to ask if you have any favorite marketing or business book to recommend.
Yeah, I would say The Power of Moments by Chip and Dan Heath. Their book is focused on creating meaningful moments and how the right moment can have extraordinary outcomes. It's amazing. Their book offers solid advice on, how to build peak moments into peak moments. Moments of insights, connection, pride, that honestly add intangible value to the customer experience across every industry. So you have to take advantage of those moments, because lately people, it's our consumers it's just about experiences. How can they I don't know, how can they, the process is easy for them, or making pinpoints that can embrace, the product or the solution.
Very cool. Yeah. Some great recommendations and like lots of things to add to my reading list, because the productivity things you mentioned also were some book recommendations there as well. So good. All sound very inspirational actually, but which, speaking of inspiration, I wanted to ask if any source of inspiration or professional role model that you might have.
Well, for me, it's Simon Sinek and Jeff Weiner. I admire the way they reach and speak what matters the most. I think it's impossible for me not to stop and read whatever they write. For me, they have this human touch that attracts and reflects the integrity of a true leader. And I think now more than ever, we need people who can lead with compassion, And also, last but definitely not least, a leader and businesswoman I admire a lot. It's the CEO of Bumble, Whitney Wolf. She became like lately the youngest woman CEO to ever take a major American company public. And I think she really demonstrated that there aren't barriers to achieve and pursue what we want. And especially for me, I think it's a major inspiration as a lead woman that has been shattering the glass ceiling in the tech and marketing world. So you see her and it's like, oh my God, she's really young, family, and in the tech world. And she was against all the issues and the challenges that she had at the beginning. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great example and very, very cool story that she has. Yeah, definitely. So as we're kind of reaching the end of the interview, I just wanted to ask if you had any like final takeaways or parting advice for other marketers in Europe.
For me, I think that I would recommend attend to HubSpot's online events. They have a lot to offer and have very valuable information and insights of best practices. Also, one of the podcasts that I've been listening, but it's the Marketing Over Coffee. It's just about 20 minutes long, and it's filled with the kind of marketing tips and tricks that you can only get from casual conversations. And also, I like to read blogs from other industries because there are some insights that sometimes can help you apply or get ideas from them. So, yeah. And mostly of all this content, I read it on LinkedIn. So just scrolling there and I see, this is interesting, the leaders I follow or somebody new. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So if anybody like wants to follow you or what you're doing at fonYou, like what's the best way to do that or to get in touch as well?
Yeah. In LinkedIn.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, we'll definitely share your LinkedIn profile in the show notes and blog post that goes along with this episode. Well, yeah, it's been great having you on the show. Thanks so much, Gabriela, for sharing your insights with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's been great having you. And thanks to everybody for listening in. For more perspectives on content marketing in Europe, check out veracontent.com/mix and keep tuning in to the podcast for interviews with content experts. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.